Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Tasneem Banu Rahman, Associate Professor at Sage University, Bhopal. Welcome you all in the 10th video on design thinking. And today I'll continue with a few more topics on mind mapping. So let's get started and take a look at today's content. So today we'll know and understand that when to use mind mapping, some apps which can be helpful in building your own mind maps, the pros and cons of mind mapping. So let's get started. So the first question that usually arises that when to use mind maps? And that's one of the very basic questions. So when trying to understand a subject, mind maps can be used anytime during the research phase. So in the design thinking process, mind mapping is a useful exercise to do during the first three stages. That's empathizing, defining, and ideating. And when the designers or a company is launching a new project, so everyone on the product team probably has a fuzzy idea of what that project should be. So mapping out the system will help everyone gain clarity so that when it's time to develop an app, for example, the team should need to have a clear picture of the system they need to build. So what the main section of the app are, and what are the features it needs to have, how those features interact with the rest of the system, and so on. So these are the reasons that really require everyone need to be on the same page. So this is the point where the mind map can be a useful element. Next is what are the apps that we can use to build up our own mind maps? So there is a plethora of mind mapping apps to explore out there. Here is the list of few mind mapping apps for students to study more efficiently and unleash their creative potentials. But to make it easy, here are the few recommendations. That Mindomo, that's mind mapping. It's an Android, iOS, Windows, Mac OS. It's available on all these four platforms. Then there is MindMeister. That's also available on Android, iOS, Mac OS, Windows, web. The third one is the Simple Mind for iPads. That's also available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac OS. Then I've worked on FreeMind. It's quite easy and it's freely available. So yes, you can try your hands on FreeMind. Then there is Mindly, which is again free, but it has a few limited functionalities with the free version. Then there is XMind, that's Mind Map, and then Koggle. So these are the few recommended mind mapping apps which you can use and build your own mind map. Now, next is the advantages of mind mapping. So the first advantage is it usually encourages the flow of thought. If you did this exercise of creating mind maps, you would have realized that the age of thought flow, it's unstoppable. It lets you go on. One thing leads to another, and you keep generating more and more ideas. Without a mind map, you tend to think only in one direction. But if you remember, the structure of mind map let you think in multiple directions. Next is, it gives you an overall picture. If you had to plan an idea with lists, you will end up with multiple lists. So imagine explaining the content of all your lists to a person who is new to the idea. You will have to pull out one list after another and try to connect the dots. So on a mind map, the connections and the correlations are already there. To make it better, they are in one place under one view. That's one major advantage of mind mapping. Then the third is the speed. When you get going with the mind mapping technique, You start thinking and noting down all the ideas in your head to generate the same ideas. Otherwise, it takes longer for most people. The fourth is the flexibility of thinking and noting down. So imagine planning an idea with a list. If you have different lists for different categories, you will have to pull out the corresponding list and note down your ideas there. When you switch multiple times, you lose focus and attention, of course. A mind map allows you to switch with ease and note down your thoughts without any trouble. Mind mapping is not the most organized way of storing ideas, but yeah, it is an ideal method of generating them. Next are the disadvantages of mind mapping. The first is, yeah, lack of space. Mind maps are most effective when drawn on paper. A A4 sheet does not offer enough space to cover a wide topic. So probably an A3 allows enough space, but a massive mind map can appear to be, messy once it is completed. So yeah, space is one major issue, and if it's a very uh, a mind map with a lot many branches, then it may appear to be a messy one. Next is the lack of details. A mind map can make you forget the details by only touching the surface. This is a disadvantage only if you use mind map for planning, for which mind map isn't a recommended tool anyway. Third is time consuming. The joy of putting thoughts on paper can give you a false impression of getting real work done, but actually it's not. So sometimes mind maps can keep going on and on without any actual action which is being taken. So I hope the disadvantages and advantages are clear. So that's it for today's video. In the next video, I'll be talking on prototyping. So that's it. Thanks to all. And if you like my video, do like and share it. Take care and see you soon.